Welcome to the Hospitality Influencer Show by Raj Hospitality. Today we have with us the Managing Director of Kerala Voyages India Private Limited, the first and only Travel Life Certified Tour Operator in India, Mr. George Scaria. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Raj.
He has over 30 years of ground experience in farming, which is very rare for an operator, but something very exciting for me to hear. Customer care, marketing, and hospitality operation. His 15 years of traveling and living in Europe molded him to a mature lifestyle and better sustainability standards. He's a guest faculty at the MCA Management Center at Innsbruck, Austria, on sustainable tourism. Welcome to the Hospitality Info Show again, Mr. George Zakaria.
Thanks, Raj.
It's very rare to have such features because a person having, because I know you from last maybe 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
I've seen you very aggressive. You're not like others. You're not a person basically, an operator who's basically, doing things for money. I've seen you the way you work, and I've seen your comments into Facebooks, WhatsApps, and KTM Society and all. You're a person who's straightforward, transparent, and very mature, and only a God-fearing man, not a man-fearing man. So whatever is there in you, you feel like talking straight. So I'm so happy to have you on my show, sir.
Thank you.
We have few small questions for you. Your inspiring journey. Actually, I do not know, or many people do not know that. Have you started your career with the hospitality industry, or you just came in between? Your inspiring story in the hospitality industry, especially tourism industry. How do you see yourself today when you started, and where are you today?
Yeah, as you said, there's a long story. Many people may not be aware of it also. So for me, I mean, this is a question of, identifying one's passion in whatever one person is doing. So for me, basically, I'm a postgraduate in English language and literature, and I started my career as a teacher. But I mean, after 6 months, I had to quit because, I was never happy with my profession. Maybe because, after, studying this Shakespeare and Keats and all these people, I was destined to teach grammar to the pre-degree students. So that never matches, So somehow, I quit the job, and I went to my brother, who was, we had a family business in automobile spare parts. So I asked him, can you help me to find a job? Because I never wanted to go back to my farm because all others are in the farm only. So I just wanted to be a little different. And he found a job with an automobile spare parts company. I started working there. I worked there for 5 years. And of course, and I enjoyed the work, The only problem was that the category of people I was handling was, little low standard people, low profile people. I'm talking about 1989. Those days, we do not have this high-end automobile showroom or something like that, So naturally, we have to go to the garages. We have to, dip into the dark oil and all. So I thought, I should do something else, So I was just, finding an opportunity, but I did not get anything. But anyway, I never wanted to continue a job, which I was not happy. So I said bye to my company in a very good way. And I went to my farm in the high ranges. So I tried to help my father. But unfortunately, I had some, allergic issues, and that made me to shift again because this cold climate was not suiting for me. So I came back to Cochin. I was doing small things like vehicle brokering, real estate. So I tried everything. But one day I got a call from a person from Dubai through one of my good friend who is a bank manager. He wanted to invest his money in Kerala for that he wanted a reliable person to manage his resources. So this bank manager vouched me for this, and he said, I trust your friend, so if you can do this. I said, no, I'll be happy because I'm jobless now. So that is how I entered tourism, and he appointed me as the chief executive officer of Highland Tours and Travels. Again, that company I only started. And I started. So he asked me, what you want to do with the money? He had enough money. So I said, I would love to start a nice niche tourist transport company with the trained drivers and, beautifully done, operations and all. So he said, I trust you. I can send you the money, whatever you ask. You can buy the cars. And so I started, buying the best class cars in those days. It is in 1995. And our company was the first company to train the drivers. We did beautiful trainings with the faculty from even the general manager of Sita. Those days, they all came to train our drivers. So that is the way, I started, and I ran that company for 5 years. In between, he asked me to build a hotel in a place called Kotarakara. The hotel is still there, Highland Hotels. So I did not have any experience in building a hotel, but I had some good friends to help me. So we built a nice hotel. We got it classified. Then again, it was 5 years, and I thought, it is a mature time for me to start something on my own, because I had some good opportunity to interact with some nice clients in tourism and all. So I asked my boss, what to do. I want to shift to my own. He said, fine. Definitely, it's your career. So he allowed me to go. So I just quit the company in the year 2000, and I was trying to start on my own. And then my first employer, Cochin Exports Group, they found that, I am trying for an alternative. So they immediately called me, because that was the kind of relation we were maintaining. They asked me, George, if you are really going for a new company, why can't we do it together? Because the Cochin Exports was a very big NRI group. They had a big infrastructure. They had all the setup. They had got the finance. I thought that is a nice idea, because if I start on my own, I'll have my limited resources, especially money. So we floated that company called Cell Tours and Travels Private Limited in 2000, with 15% stake with me, and 85% stake went to Cochin Exports Group. So that was a big beginning, So the company had enough money. So we bought a lot of vehicles, At one time, I remember, I had 55 vehicles of our own. So we were one of the biggest fleets in Kerala those days. Yeah. But, again, we continued all this kind of, excellent service and all. In 2005, I started doing tours on my own. Otherwise, we were only a transporter. In 2005, we started tours with the domestic tour, people. I had a lot of clients in Mumbai and Gujarat and Delhi and all. We did fantastically well. And in 2006, I wanted to start my international marketing. And I went to UK, WTM for the first time in 2006. And again in 2007 March, I went to ITB Berlin also. These two visits I made, and I got a good picture on the market, and I was sure that it's going to be a sustainable effort. You will not get a result in 1 or 2 years. So I was ready to do that. But unfortunately, when I came back and when I submitted my traveling expenses to my team, my colleague directors, they said, George, this is not the way we want to go, because, you are spending a lot of money, which means, we will not be able to pay, dividends to our investors. But I told them, I'm so sorry, I have to disagree, because dividend is a temporary thing. We can give more dividends later. But without exploring the international market, it will be a block to my career, just serving the domestic tourism. Then they said, of course, we accept your things, but then we will have to take a decision. We cannot continue like this. So I said, fine, I can definitely quit and do on my own. So I decided to quit. But they said, we are very good friends. We are, saying bye in a very good, friendly manner. They said, no, we cannot run this company. It's your baby. You have to take it. So that means it was a big commitment for me, because I had to buy 85% of the share of the company. So yeah, and I got a time limit also. It was discussion was happening in the month of February, and I had to close the deal by 31st March. So I had to arrange a lot of money, but I could do that definitely. So April 1st, the April 1st, 2008, the company was my own. So that is the time, I started to really move with my dream. So I aggressively, unfortunately, 2008 and 9 was, a global recession. We had a tough time with the business, but we could manage. I continued my marketing since 2006. I never missed ITM. ITP and WTM. And I continued in my marketing basis. We had a good, the journey was tough, but when I look back today, I'm so happy. I think, every organization in tourism should have that kind of a tough history. Absolutely. So otherwise, there are chances of failures, because I started with failure only. So I'm not afraid of any failures anymore. And of course, I had a very solid background in my family because my father was a good farmer. So I was always safe with that also. Then, in between, I met one of my good friends in ITB in Berlin. He was the dean of MCI University. So after a discussion, and he brought a group to Kerala. After that interaction, he said, "George, I have not seen such a passionate person in tourism." And he invited me as a guest lecturer for 1 year in 2016. I was so happy. I never had any opportunity for that. And I delivered the lecture. And in 2017, I got an appointment. So it's as a lifetime lecturer in the university. Wow. So this is something, which gives us, what else I can expect, because money is, as you said, money is totally different. Money cannot buy these things. Okay. So naturally, when I look back, I am so happy. But of course, there is a pain, I think, I will tell you about that during the last session when I give a message to the youngsters. So without that pain, it would not be easy, easy and possible. But I'm having full vibe. I can tell you, I'm having full vibe.
Superb, absolutely superb. And it's a really, really I was just thinking like a movie story going on, So the situations came in. Kerala Voyages.
Actually, the story is so long. We have got limitation now. So yeah.
No, but the stage-wise, when you said it was interesting.
Yeah.
The Kerala Voyages is surely a pioneer in the Kerala tourism industry. Can you just speak some small things, but which is in a big way, as far as you are doing to the tourism?
Yeah, actually, Raj, when our company name Kerala Voyages, we got approved in 2012 only. Until then, it was only sell tours only. So, but we had a very basic policy of giving the best service. That may be because my connection with the Europe, because I have my second family in Germany. I have been adopted by an Austrian family. So so when I am living with them, I could understand what the Westerners really need, what they like and what they don't like. So that was a good lesson for me when designing the programs and when interacting with the people. So I always wanted my team to deliver what we commit. That was the first thing we introduced here. And even today we do that. Money is secondary. Sometimes we have lost money for delivering the commitment, but we never put our partners in trouble. So that way that was a small thing we started. And then gradually we have found the sustainability part in tourism was many people talk about sustainability. They bring out big lectures and all. But when it comes to the practicality, many are not following the real sustainable standards. So I thought we will go in a practical way. How we can be sustainable. Because tomorrow, I'm sure the future of tourism is sustainability. Because the mature traveler, if you take even the global travelers, at least 40 to 50% of today's travelers, they are looking for sustainable options. If they get a sustainable option, they'll definitely prefer that only. So that way, we moved gradually without making any policy decision or something like that. So we, brought, small things in our office, with our drivers, all these kind of things. And gradually, when the COVID time came, of course, everybody closed and we also had to, sit idle. So we thought, we will do something extra on this, So I had an opportunity to have a partnership with a Swiss company, which is a 100% sustainable company. So they asked me to go for this Travel Life, reporting and certification. So I said, fine. So I logged in and, I started working on this. So the training was the first thing. So all the teams should be trained and myself got trained with all the modules. And then we reported, our sustainability. Fortunately, without any correction, they approved us as a partner because they said, you have got a very good sustainable standards. And it was not, that made, deliberately. It was an automatic process because they checked all our client communication, they checked our finances, they checked many things, how we pay our staff. I mean, they even interviewed our staff and all. So they could verify all these things. And then I thought, I have many more months to do sitting idle. So I will go for the next level, that's the certification part. So we continued with our job, and in the month of November, we became the first Travel Life certified company in India. So that is a big, of course, Indian people or Indian tourism industry, they are not aware of this sustainability certification. It's a UN accredited certification, but even the tourism department doesn't know what is this, So, so I'm so sorry to say this, even the tourism industry did not acknowledge this certification.
Absolutely.
But this is going to be the future. I'm very sure.
Great, great. You have been associated with few college, as you already said that you have been a guest lecturer in the sustainability tourism you're talking about. Can you just give a small description about it?
Yeah, actually the MCI University in Innsbruck, that is a government, Austrian government owned university. It is, exclusively for the entrepreneurship in tourism. Okay. Normally in India, what happens, we have got tourism courses, but it is not focused on the entrepreneurship. Actually, in my opinion, without an ownership being built in a professional, tourism professional cannot be successful. And this is what we are doing in our university. So that was a big lesson for me because I am teaching along with the professors from University of America, University of Hong Kong, and Emirates Academy. So I could really interact with all these high-fi, big professors. And even my university dean, Mr. Hubert Siller, is an amazing personality, and my entire department. So I got an opportunity to do this, and sustainability was my focus area. And also they liked me, my explaining my own experience, which includes an element of passion, integrity, and attitude. So my first session is always with a topic called Beyond Academics, which people cannot learn from a university. So beyond academics, I cover passion, attitude, and integrity. In this, I bring my experience as a professional in tourism and all. So I always tell them that the only negativity I'm having to teach you is that I do not have a degree from any hospitality universities. I have never been to any hospitality university. So I tell them, you should be qualified for that, personally, by passion. So after that, I was invited by Guidance Academy in Cochin to teach. And I was taking a few sessions in kids, coaching center also. But beyond that, people, they may be even, I think, they may be afraid that because I am a guest lecturer in a university in Austria, I'll be charging huge amounts. But in my lectures here, I don't even charge anything because in India, if I do this, I don't need money because I need, the youngsters to come up, in a professional way. Super. They should understand the tourism, even during the COVID periods, my institutes, they were asking me to, give a kind of a session to the students, telling that tourism will come back. You don't need to worry because many parents were not willing to send the students to the tourism colleges. Correct. Because tourism, they think tourism doesn't have an opportunity. But my only worry is that our own institute like kids or something, they are not utilizing the faculties. They are looking for something else to invite lectures or something like that. They don't even listen what a person like me is giving lectures in a university like Austria. And when I teach the students in my university, I'm having around 26 nationalities studying. There is an international university. So, and I could really watch how enthusiastic they to do the bachelors and masters in tourism. But in India, we are not seeing that kind of a passion nowadays. So we should have a better, practical kind of education system in tourism. Just degree will not do, and people, our students, and if they think that they can just come out and take a job, a good job, that may not be the reality.
Absolutely. I think it's very nice to hear about that. As all of us know that we were, or maybe I should say, still some of the areas are still in a bad patch now. What's your gut feel about the positive side of the business flourishing in the year ahead?
Yeah, Raj, I should say I'm 100% positive, 100%. This is definitely, I mean, it was a little extended, crisis. We all understand. But if any operator or any hotelier or any entrepreneur in tourism, if they had taken that time to equip themselves to, face the future, it would have been really nice. But if they just go back and sit desperate, then they have done a wrong thing. I'm sure tourism will boom back, but only thing we should be ready to face the new scenario. I would say a better normal, not a new normal, a better normal. Yeah. So I mean, it's 100% positive.
Absolutely. We also see it because even the hospitality, it is definitely there are a lot of new things coming up.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
change also. But the only thing is,
Yeah.
yes, you cannot be like as you were earlier. So you have to update yourself.
Yeah. You have to adopt. You have to adopt the new situation. Definitely.
How do you define tourism from your perspective? We have viewers from the tourism schools and watching you. Please explain tourism from your point of view.
Yeah, that's a very complicated question. I mean, this has been asked by many people. I should say tourism, doesn't have that kind of a solid, definition. If it was a scenario, I would not have been a tour operator because I had never studied tourism at all. So the basic thing is that, to understand the interest of a traveler, that is what is tourism. Because we create what we happen in happens in a country like India is that government policies are coming without really understanding what the tourists want. I have to tell it very frankly,
Absolutely.
because I have seen even the ministers or the officers, when they go for fairs and all, they meet, they'll be staying in a nice hotel in the city, and they'll be meeting some, top officials. They don't really talk to the ordinary people, many. So they are not really understanding the reality. To understand the requirement of a tourist is the biggest asset for a tourism professional. So normally what happens in India, we create a product and we present it to somebody saying that no, this is something here, you can take if you want. But in my thing, it should be the just opposite. We should understand the requirement of the traveler, and we have to design or create products as per their aspiration. Otherwise, selling is not easy, because many countries you can see, it has been already started going like that. They are designing tours as per the requirements of the tourists. So that's what we need. So tourism means it's a what do you call, it's not a solid thing, and it is ever evolving also. How you can make a definition, because tourism is ever evolving. So
Absolutely.
if you, this is a problem, if you have already put a definition for tourism, then that means there is no evolution. That stops there.
Yes.
So
No growth. Correct.
yeah.
I think very well said. Very well said. What needs to be done to improve tourism in Kerala from your point of view?
Yeah, again, you're putting me in trouble. Yeah, this is something, even the tourism secretary asked, the tourism minister asked, everybody asked, But unfortunately, all these kind of discussion platforms are not open for many people.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, any tourism authority, whether it is a state department tourism or national tourism board or whatever it is, they should really ask their officers to go and talk to the normal people in the ground. Who are delivering the service. Because the owners, many owners, I can tell you, I'm not blaming anyone in person. Many of the owners in tourism industry, they are not full-time tour operators or full-time tourism stakeholders. They have got many things, and they are just doing a business. But if you are talking to a manager, who is really delivering in the grounds, he'll be able to tell, what kind of things to be implemented. And Kerala as a state, I can tell you the best thing what we can do is that we can increase or we can improve our sustainability standards. We can improve our responsible tourism initiatives. We can bring the entire population in Kerala to love tourism, so that we will have a better atmosphere. Because why I'm telling about Kerala. Kerala is a model in across India now. Because if you take the health part, we have got the best facilities in India. Nobody can, really stop us. So we have got best education facilities, and we have got nice tourism infrastructure. But only problem is that, we do not have a regulation.
Right.
That is something, which kills our industry. If there is no regulation in the industry, means, any Tom, Dick and Harry can do anything they want, which is not tourism.
Absolutely.
I was surprised, I went to Munnar 2 weeks back. I was surprised to see the traffic jam in Munnar town.
Oof.
And I mean, if a real serious tourist, see that particular video, they will never come to Munnar at all. So without understanding the geography of a destination, without understanding the carrying capacity of a destination, we just build infrastructure, we just build hotels, we just build game parks, all these kind of things, and our I mean, just bringing lots of people. Actually, that is not tourism.
Absolutely.
That is a different kind of thing, which Kerala cannot afford. So Kerala should have a proper, strong regulatory authority or something like that to control the tourism.
Correct. My last question to you: your motivational guidance and suggestions to today's hospitality youngsters to win the life during this pandemic situation or in the coming days.
Yeah, that is something, very interesting, because I mean, the youth, I have seen many youth, even who are the professionals working in the industry, had lost their passion and charm for tourism just because of 1 year of pandemic. But I should tell them that, if you are a real passionate, a professional, you should not be disheartened, because things will come back in a better way, and it will be this time you can take it as a time for improving yourself, improvising yourself, learning new things, and understanding the scenario globally, and you can improve yourself. Tourism will come back. Nobody should go down. It will be perfect, may not be in 2021, but 2022 we will see better days, I'm sure. So be brave and step on, and stay tuned with the situation.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Mr. George Zakaria. It was nice talking to you, and your suggestions for improving the Kerala tourism was very well taken. And I'm sure what you said was absolutely perfect, and people like us understand this. And it's only up to the government to understand and start looking into it before it gets late. And also, like I must say, your story, your inspiring story about how you started in the industry was really, really amazing. And thank you very much for the time taken, and it was nice talking to you. See you again.
Welcome, Raj. It's my pleasure. Thanks a lot for inviting me for this session. Thank you. Bye. Bye.